Hello! Welcome to Bad at Board Games.
Well, he's bad at board games.
I'm Brad Lake.
I'm Toph Ferguson.
And we're bad at board games, so you don't have to be.
Welcome to Bad at Singing with Brad Lake.
Would you like to hold hands?
No. Nope.
It's his whole touching. He doesn't like it. It makes you laugh. Massage your face. Like threatening to invade his personal space.
It's like I can just feel the fact that you're thinking about wanting to invade my personal space, and it's... You're going to make me go on medication.
Oh, the dreams.
Therapy is going to be wonderful. So let's talk about your week. No, I don't want to.
There's trauma, PTSD from being on YouTube with my friend.
Be on YouTube, they said. It'll be fun, they said.
I was the only one technically that said that.
That is true. That is true. It's all coming full circle now, y'all. Welcome to my life and my friends.
There you go. There you go. So what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so we thought we would take another one of your great recommendations and give you our thoughts on some games and what we feel they are maybe best at player count for us. Mm-hmm. So this is not BGG ratings. This is not, we haven't surveyed anybody other than the two of us and what we think how we've played these games works best.
And we thought we'd start with our top 10 list of all time. So I know there's some that'll do like, here's the best games at 2-player, here's the best games at 3. And to be quick about some things, and a lot of games can play 2, 3, and 4-player, right? So we're just looking at our top 10 list for now, and then we'll try to come back with some others, and maybe we'll just go through our top 50 or something. I don't know the best way to do it, but we thought this would be a fun way, and we'll tell you at least our favorite games, where the player counts land as far as being good, and then you'll get an idea of which ones aren't good.
Or at least what we think maybe they're not good at playing player count wise. So we have not played all of these games at every player count, so we'll take that into consideration as well as we go through some of this. But we have played, especially this, top 10 games of all time. We've played them quite a bit.
Played them often, and we've played them at almost all player counts, maybe not solo.
All of them you and I have played together, and almost all of them, we've played at gaming group. Yep. So so we've had some... We've had different player counts. Some of them are solo, I think, for you and for me. Yeah. Pretty much solo.
But I've played, even in solo ones, I've played with multiples.
As have I. Yeah. So anyways, let's dive into it. We thought we'd start with our 10 and work our way up. And we do have some overlap between our counts, so we're not going to talk about games twice.
Right.
But we'll chime in on both of them. So I'll give my thoughts on the games that is on Brad's list and kind of what I think they are, even if that player count is 0. So anyways... Let's start. I'll let you take the honors. Your number 10 of all time was?
Everdale.
I
did have to look all these up. It's not from memory. But Everdale. It's one of R&I's favorite games. So to me, I see it as a 2 to 4 player game. I have not played it solo, and I have not played it at 5-player expansions yet. But I haven't had a problem at any player count. So I like the game, or and I play it. You, I, and Aura play it. You and I played it. We've played it with Alex, and I've played it at 4 players at New Year's Eve and things like that. And I haven't had a problem with it at any time pulling that out.
Have you soloed it?
I have not.
Okay.
So I don't know what it's like at solo. So
yeah, I've had some friends that have soloed it, and some have soloed it and enjoyed it. Others have soloed it and have not enjoyed it. I think there was a indifference with one of my good friends who does play some games solo. She's not a solo gamer necessarily, but she plays some games solo, and it was kind of hit or miss, I think, for her. I don't know. I feel like people are one side of the polar spectrum. Either they like it solo or they really do not.
Right.
I don't know if... I think I probably would. I think I play enough solo games that I would probably still enjoy it solo, but I enjoy it. I don't actually enjoy it as much at 2. I think 3 is a great player count for Everdale. 4 is fun as well. I think in the beginning it was good to play at 2 because you're learning what it is, but outside of that, I like it where there's a little worker placement. Right. I like it where there's a little bit more competition and the places that you can go. So
yeah, if you're gonna hold me to it, I would say best is 3. But I love playing it at 2, and I've never had a problem playing it at 2. I understand what you mean by it opening up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like it all.
Yeah.
So
it's a good game.
There.
It's a great game.
So what's our next game?
Yes. So my number 10 was Spirit Island.
Great game.
It is. Fantastic game. I have played it multiplayer. I've not yet played it 4. I have played it at 1, 2, and 3. For me...
And I have not played it solo.
I thought you did. Okay.
No, I've just played it with you and Ashby.
Okay, so you've only played it at 3. Oh, no, we've
played it at 2, and I've played it at 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I thought we had... I like it best solo. I really do. Now, when I solo games, I tend to play only with one character, but Spirit Island, you have to really play with 2. You can't just go into it solo. I've only soloed it with 1 spirit. I won't do that again, with 2 spirits. I have not tried it with more than that. I think that's more than I want to do in solo gaming. But for some weird reason, when I'm playing 1 spirit and somebody else is playing the other, I don't enjoy it so much. I do think it's good. I enjoyed the 3-player. I did. 4 would be chaos.
Yeah.
I think, which not necessarily a bad thing, but I think 3 for me would be a multiplayer sweet spot, and solo I think is the best for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like it at 3 personally. Now the thing, and I would caveat, co-op games really depend on if you have a group that are willing to work together. So Toph, Ashby, and I think work really well together on co-op games. I've had co-op games with other people in the group, and when everybody wants to go off and do their own thing, it doesn't work. Co-op game is to try to play cohesively and together and go towards a goal, right? So I think we all bring different things to a co-op game. So when we play, we're cooperative. Go figure.
It is a co-op. Yeah.
But I like it. I like it at 3, but I've never played it solo.
Spirit Island is not something I gravitate towards when I think of playing with other, like with a group of people, just because of the complexity of it. And I know it's not the most complex game that exists or that we play, but it is.
It's tough. The game is made to be hard.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I'm surprised the rating, like BGG rating, I think it's a more complex game than what like the BGG like survey has averaged out.
But I think it's only because it's like another one of those, it's easy to learn. Not the hardest to learn.
It's really not. No.
And that's probably why it makes the weight rating lower, but it's hard.
It is hard. The gameplay's not hard either. Maybe that's why it is.
But I mean,
but
it's
to
like
win that game is
win is hard.
It's brutal. I love it. It's so much fun. Yeah. But it's fun solo. I love it solo.
Yeah. So my opinion is 3, but it has to do with the people. All of these I could say that with, but I like it at 3.
Yeah.
You like it at 1.
1 or 3 if it's multiplayer. Yep.
There you go.
So on to your number 9.
My number 9, don't remember what it was. Gaia Project. So I have now played the Gaia Project a lot, especially in the last 6 weeks.
Thank you all for being willing to play with him, because you want me to start with my favorite player count?
0. He doesn't like it.
I need to give it another try. Yeah. I do, but yeah, I did not really enjoy it.
Yeah, Gaia Project is there's so many different combinations, and you're going to pick the race depending on what the map is and what the objectives are in the map. And like just starting out, like you're going to try to win, you need to like see all that stuff or have an idea, because that can make or break you. But you can still enjoy it. I enjoy playing the game. I do want to get better. I don't like getting beat, but like just I'm trying to find that next level of being able to get past like 110, 120. And getting up into the 150s and like some of these other people do. But I don't quite know how to get there yet. But I like it at 2. I like it at 3. 4 gets tight. 4's hard. Like I think I like playing it at 2 just fine. I think playing it at 3 is more fun. But then that's a longer game. Like if you just want to sit down and kind of play a game and have a nice puzzle and all that, I like it at 2. But I think it can be the most fun at 3 if everybody knows what they're doing. And then 4 can be fun, but it's still kind of one of those, you're signing up for a long game. Like you're just signing up for a long game, and you got to know that.
I've only played it at 2. I've only played it with Brad, and I will say I appreciate the game for what it is, even though it's not one that I've really enjoyed. I still actually had it a year ago on my top 100 list. But I wanted more. With only 2 players, I felt like the idea of what you told me the game really is, of being able to use each other and move around, we didn't have that. And so I wanted more people there to be able to work with them, synergize with their routes and stuff.
Right.
So,
well, the energy they're giving off allows you to cycle through things.
Exactly. And so I would say that I would probably prefer it at a higher count. Now, I don't know about 3, 4, what would be better, because I haven't played them, but I feel like it needs more than 2.
Yeah.
But again, I've had limited plays, so don't take my word for it.
Yeah, if you essentially playing at 2, you need to like at least try to set up one of your buildings at setup within 3 of somebody else. Otherwise, you really start to lose some of those synergies. You eventually will, but it becomes a very low scoring game when you like intentionally try to like separate yourself. So those are the things. Like Gaia Project is, you got to know a lot about how it plays, then you can start to work it a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, and then there's like 12 races. Like it gets a bit much. So, but
game,
that's what I think. So, what's our next game?
Next for me, number 9 is Arkham Horror, the card game.
Great game.
Yes, we have played it.
I've played it solo. You've played it solo. You've played more of it solo than I have.
Yes.
And we've played it together.
Yes, and I've played it at 3. I don't think that was with you.
No. I've played it basically with you at 2, somebody else at 2, and then by myself. So.
Yeah, I like this solo.
Yeah.
This is another one where I can do it with just one character, but I actually have learned to play it with 2 is better, but I really would prefer to play it solo. Although, we have had
solo? Like, you play with 2 characters, or you play with 1?
I play with 2 characters, but me playing 2 characters is my preference. Yeah.
Understand you.
So I've done it true solo where I play with just one character, and it's still fun, where a Spirit Island I will never do again with just one spirit. It is still fun with only one investigator, but I do prefer to solo it with 2. But we have had a lot of fun in our games. 3 was fun. I will happily do it again. If I'm going to multiplayer it, I think it's better at 2.
Yeah. I like it at 2. I'm going to gravitate towards Marvel Champions, which is on this list too, at 1. I think I'll always default to that as a solo card game for me. I like the story of Arkham, and I like kind of like sharing that experience more than just like sitting there and reading it, and I kind of just get bored with it and I'm just going to do the mechanic, where I think if somebody else is there, I just enjoy it more.
Yeah.
So
when the last time we played, you set up candles around it and kind of had
we had
set
fun.
up with
we had a good time with it. So
yeah,
but that's my opinion. I don't think I would enjoy it at 3, because it's another one of those like co-op. It's a co-op game. It takes the right people if you're going to play a co-op game at 3.
Yeah. I want to pull it out with the group that I used to play Arkham Horror 2nd Edition with, and I have played it with Sierra, but I want to pull it out with more of the people who really get into like 2nd Edition Arkham Horror, to see if all of us who have this foundation of what Arkham Horror is would make the game play a little bit better and play it at 4.
Right.
When I've played it at 3, it's been fun, but usually it's with somebody who doesn't really know the game, and they're usually questioning, like we all do when we start a game like that, a living card game. It takes a while to get going in your brain of what you're doing. And it was just, it was a little too much randomness to where, like you said, when you play co-op, you kind of have to work together. And when people are going off and doing their own thing, it can be really fantastic and fun in the moment if you're willing to lose. But at the same time, if you're really wanting to win, you're not going to, and it can get frustrating. And so, yeah, so you kind of want to play with people, I think, who get into it and can co-op it well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. What's our next one?
So we're going to skip a little bit because we've got some duplicates. We're going to go on to my number 7, which was Kanban EV.
Great game.
Fantastic game. I love that game.
So you want to go first? You want me to?
I will, yeah. So for me, Kanban EV I've not soloed it. I would like to, just to see what it's like. I don't know if I'll enjoy it as much solo. For me, 2 players fantastic, but 3 is where it's at. 2, we have had a blast. We've played many games.
Yeah.
2, but having that third player, again, worker placement, you are in greater competition for the places you need to go, and that builds a little bit more stress, and Sandra is a little worse as you get to the higher player counts, and that brings a fun stress to it. So you not only are stressing about where you're going to go because other people are taking spots, but Sandra's coming at you, and she's going to get you.
Yeah, I kind of agree with 2. I like it at 2, and we played a lot at 2, more at 2 than 3, because it's still hard to get, Lacerdas are hard to, you got to find the right people that want to play that heavy of a game, and then the time and everything else you want to do, and you want to pull that out. But I like Kanban. I liked it a lot at 3. I liked it enough at 3, I want to try it at 4.
Oh, I would love to try it at 4.
I don't know if it's going to be just analysis paralysis, and I really don't want, it's too long for me, but I want to play it at 4 just to see if it's 3 and 4. 4 makes it even more crazy, kind of going on. But I do like it at 3. I love it at 2. I'm happy to play it all day long at 2. But if we can get a 3-player game in and of it, even better.
Yeah, I agree.
So what's our next?
So let's go on to your number 6.
My number 6,
which is Marvel Champions.
Marvel Champions 1. Best player count. Best player count for any game. 1.
I almost have to abstain from my views on this because I've played a half of a game.
Yeah, I was trying to just teach you how it works,
how it plays. Yeah, we weren't fully playing. It was kind of a teach me.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you.
So I can't. I don't have a count, but I would say I probably would solo it based on how I hear you all talk about it. And I actually watched a game of, I think it was you, Ashby, and Alex were playing a game.
Yeah, we played it upstairs. Ashby and I have done a playthrough on the channel. I just think it takes so much longer. And I true solo it. I don't play 2 characters solo. I only play it solo. And so I like it that way the best, because it can be done in an hour, and as soon as you add another person and everything doubles, and it makes it fun, but at the same time it's more of a time commitment typically than I want to spend at 2, and we've played it at 3, but it's almost it feels like it's almost an hour per person. Probably not, but I enjoyed, what was the other superhero game that was before Marvel Champions? We played the generic superheroes. It was basically Marvel Champions before Marvel Champions came out. It's been around for 10, 20, a lot of years. Multiverse. Heroes of the Multiverse. Yeah. Something like that. I preferred that just by the way they do the environment and some of the other things in those. I thought it was more on the seat of your pants. Now, I did sit, you're kind of waiting for it to come back to you, but I preferred that.
Multiplayer.
And we played it at 5.
Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Yeah. That's it. Than Marvel Champions. But that's my opinion.
We played at 5, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
There's downtime, but you're kind of rooting for everybody, or at least I was.
Well, I went into it with a very different mindset of what to expect from the game. And then once I started understanding what to expect, then it was okay, I get this. And it was funny. It was, there's comedy in it. There's we ragged on each other. We had a good time with it. So yeah, I enjoyed that one multiplayer, but maybe I like Marvel. I don't know. I've had a hard time getting into Marvel themed games.
Well, but the X-Men.
I want to play the X-Men. Yeah, yes.
They're good. They've got the X-Men stuff. I haven't gotten you to try that stuff yet. Yeah. So
that probably would bring it. Yeah. I haven't been as big, growing up. Marvel was cool. I like DC a little bit better, I think. I wasn't one or the other. X-Men is where it was. Yeah. I was big in X-Men when I was growing up. So.
I haven't tried to get him into the X-Men expansion yet, but you have to buy the base game to then get the expansion. So it kind of because he talked me out of it. He was like, you can't just buy the expansion. And then I was like, well, I'm not paying $50 for a game that I didn't really enjoy or don't think I'll enjoy just to play the X-Men. So exactly.
He'll buy it and then I'll play it.
There you go. I already have it.
Fantastic. Even better. So Awesome. Well, let's move on to my number 6, which was Cthulhu Death May Die.
Amazing game.
Yeah.
So you have soloed this, you said?
I have soloed this,
Okay.
yes.
So I have not, but I've played enough of these games. I know where I'd probably be okay with it too. But and we've played it all the way up to 5.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Multiple times at every player count. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And solo.
Yeah.
So
it was fun solo. I don't pull it out solo. If I want the Arkham feel solo, I'm pulling out 2nd edition if I want an all-day event or living card game.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun. I'll do it again at some point, I'm sure, especially once we get the Kickstarter in, then I'll probably play some of those.
Yeah.
But for me, 2 players where it's at.
Yeah.
It's fun with a lot of people because the chaos gets more and more, and that's the idea of that game is madness and chaos and insanity. But 2 is so much fun. Now, is that because you and I know each other enough that we have a lot of fun at 2, or is it because of the player count? I don't know. I do like it at the higher player counts, but for me, sweet spot has been the games that you and I have played.
Yeah.
In chaos.
I liked when we played 4 best.
4
was a blast.
Yeah, 4 is a great count with that game.
4 was a blast, and it's when that scenario is hard enough. Like sometimes you can just start. We've got this in the bag, kind of right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 4 makes it challenging enough. 2's fun. We have a lot of fun at 2 as well, especially when we get a new scenario open and it's kind of like, how are we going to do this, and how can we, And
then we lose, and then we do it again.
Yeah. But
we lose faster at 2-player, which I think is another good thing because then you lose and you can play again.
Yeah. But I haven't had a bad play. I haven't played it solo. I could see where you would play it solo, and at least the game's always fighting you, whether you're playing 1 player or 5 players. And solo, you could play with 2. Probably a lot of that. Maybe I keep going to Massive Darkness and trying to figure out why I'm not in love with it like everybody else, and maybe because I'm only playing solo and there's more added in when there's other people, but I'm not sure. But
that could be.
I haven't had I suggest Cthulhu Death May Die at any player count.
Yeah, I really do too. Maybe not solo as the preferred.
So 2 to 5.
2 to 5. Yeah. That 4. The last game we played, I think, was 4, and once you start, people start dying out of the game. The game speeds up quickly at that point,
right?
But you have a lot more going on, and there's a lot more madness around the board.
He died a little bit earlier than everybody else.
I did, so. Not a little bit earlier. I died pretty early,
but I still like it. Yeah. So what do we got next?
Number 5. Your number 5, Star Wars Rebellion.
2. Easy, just 2. It's not 2 to 4 like on the box. Not 1, it's 2. There's only 2. Don't try anything else. I'll tell you that right now. It's a 2-player game. They should just say it's a 2-player game on the box. But then not as many people would buy it.
I haven't played it, so I don't know. We need to play
Empire versus Rebellion, and it's 2.
Okay, there it is.
Enough
there you
said.
had. You heard it.
Yes.
Don't try anything else. According to Brad Lake,
just play it at 2. You'll be happier.
I will play that at some point. So.
Yep.
Okay, number 5, Pandemic Legacy, and we're going to go with Season 1 because that's what we've played. We played this 2-player. We also played a few games
with 3. Yeah.
Again, I might be biased because you and I put so much into that game.
Right.
That at 2-player it was fantastic, and at 3 it kind of felt like somebody was like coming in as a sidekick and then they left us. Which is fine. We still had fun with it, but I like that at 2. I don't like playing Pandemic at 2, but Pandemic Legacy is, I think, because it's the character development and what you're doing with them, having 2 brains I liked better than 3.
Yeah, I agree. I think with any campaign game, you're going to have to it's a commitment, right? So it's easy. It's going to always be easier to get 2 people to commit to it than it is 3, and it gets exponentially harder if it's 4. So whether it's a dungeon crawl or something, right? Now, if you're lucky enough to have one of those groups that always gets together and are dedicated, like knockout Gloomhaven or knockout Frosthaven or something like that, that's different. But most of us, we have things that come up and can't do this and can't do that, and so I like Pandemic at 2. I agree.
Yeah.
So.
Such a good game. I'm about ready to start season 2. It's on the shelf. I see it, and I'm like, oh. Awesome. Let's go on to number 4. We're going to skip your number 4 for the time being.
Okay.
So my number 4 is Scythe. Fantastic game. I love Scythe. I really do. Scythe is good at almost all player counts.
I was going to say not all player counts.
I have not played it at 7 yet.
I would never want to play it at 7.
But I played it at 1 through 6.
We played it at 5. When I was at the old house, I think. Eric was there.
Yes.
So
yep.
I think anything over 4 is too much. Is too much. And I would say if I were going to pick a player count, I think it's 3, maybe 4, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But 2 is and then over 4 too damn long.
It is long. So, and they even say that on the box. It's 25 minutes per player.
Yeah. So,
it will take a little bit more time. I rated my number 1, like my best player count, as 4. When you get into the higher player counts, the board is fuller. When you only play 1 or 2, it's not, you don't have enough conflict.
And that's why I don't like 2. That's why I like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Just so you're at least filling the map up and trying to go for things.
Yeah. It's not a war game. It's not a battle game by any means, but you need a little bit of that conflict to be able to make it work well.
Challenge each other for resources. And areas.
So 4 is my favorite count, then 5, then 3. I played a 6. 6 was okay. It was okay. It was fun. We had a blast playing it, but I don't know if that's something I would gravitate to. There's just too much on the board, I think, at that player count. And then 7, I think, would be Mad Chaos. I don't think it would be so much fun. I want to try it, though. I do want to try it at 7. I don't think I will like it. But 5 is a fantastic. First time I played it was with 5 players, and it was awesome. And then I played it at 2, and I was like, not as good of a game. And so 4, sweet spot for me.
Cool.
Yep.
There we go.
Awesome. Your number 3, Marvel Zombies.
So that's a good question. I really like that solo. I do. Now the new, and this is including Heroes Resistance, because it was Heroes Resistance when I did the top 10 list, because I didn't have the other one yet. But I've played the other one now enough times. I do like it at 1, just because I get to do everything and I get to manipulate everything. Problem with it, the big box of it, is that it can get so hard. I had to play 6 heroes to make it easy enough, because the game doesn't scale based on how many heroes you have. It's just like, this is how hard this scenario is. Figure it out. So you keep adding heroes to try to make it easier, essentially. But my caveat with any Zombicide is it's 2 characters per person. If you're going to only have a character, just don't play the game. You'll be bored, because you may never kill a zombie. By the time it comes all the way back to you and it's your turn to finally do something, you may be the one that never gets to do anything. So if you have 2, and so I guess I'm saying, if it can play up to 3 players, right? It's fine at 1. I like it. Fine at 2, because you can play 2 and 2 or 3 and 3. But I would highly recommend never playing any Zombicide where you only have 1 character. That's the caveat. That's the player count thing I think you got to watch for. Is as soon as you only have 1 character, because there's so many people, I wouldn't play it.
That's interesting. Brad has said that multiple times. I think we've played it once or twice. Heroes Resistance. I think we've played once or twice where I've only had 1 character.
Well, but so I guess this is the other thing. There's 3 people. We've had 1 each. You weren't waiting for it. But when there's 6, it wasn't fun. And the only reason we did 1 each is because I was trying to teach it to all 3, both of you at the same time.
Okay.
So I didn't want you to have to dual hand anything. But it's more fun when you have 2 heroes.
I don't enjoy games as much when I have multiple heroes or investigators or whatever characters to control.
But you liked Hulk and...
I did. I liked 2 was fine. I don't want to play with 3.
No.
I would not want
myself. I had to play with 6 solo just to get through that
I would
mission.
not want to control it.
That was more than I wanted. 3, I don't mind running 3 with Marvel Zombies. I don't think it's that hard. 4, I was just like, oh. And then I'm like, I was like, I'm going to beat this mission. I don't care how many of these guys I have to figure out how to run.
He kept texting me all the failures.
Yeah, I was like, I will get past the Avengers Tower. It was second mission.
It took you a while to get. Well,
I've seen other people complain about it. Yeah, you can go watch our failure.
Yeah, watch our playthrough failure. Yeah, and then you continued and playing and finally won.
I wasn't going to put it up until I beat it. Nope.
Yeah, so I enjoy. I like Marvel Zombies a lot. I think it is a great game. I think it's not a stressful game that's going to make your mind like melt. But it's got the good stress in what's going to happen.
Hey, these guys are coming after me. You got to figure out how not to die.
It's kind of the Death May Die feel, which is a Zombicide style game. Yep. So it's really fun.
Kind of seem on sweet spot.
I enjoy playing 2 live human players, and I guess I do enjoy playing each of us having 2, but I really don't want a third. I don't want to add. That's too much for me to want to enjoy. It's like I'm having to try too hard to enjoy the game. So
I would say. At whatever player count, as long as you can have 2 characters, 2 heroes, whatever version of Zombicide you want to play, that's the sweet spot. It's a little different than everything else.
It's a fun game. I forget how much I like that game.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it is fun.
Every time you've pulled it out, I've loved it. So yeah, that's a good one. Awesome. My number 3 of all time is a game that was also on your list, and that is Brass Birmingham.
We haven't played that in a while. We need to get that again. Yeah, we need to do that one again.
I absolutely love that game. Yeah.
And I feel like I do really good at it, and then he comes by and beats me. It's like so painful.
It's so amazing.
Painful. It's not like he like screams past me anymore, but it's just like, I beat you by 3,
absolutely
1, 5, 10. Like at the beginning, it was like he beat me by 20, but now it's like we're close, but he's always finds a way, and I'm like, oh, that hurts.
It's amazing.
So hard.
I
so
love
painful.
It. Yes.
So.
Yeah, I do love that game so much. We have played it at all player counts, 2 to 4. 2 is okay. 2's still a fantastic game. Don't get me wrong. 2's still a fantastic game.
3 opens up the whole board.
But 3 and 4 give you more. Yeah. And again, worker placement. That battle for spaces. It's not really area control.
I don't really call it worker placement. Well, it's like you want to get the city. I don't know. It's hand management and
it is
location. Yeah,
you're trying to get the places on the board, and so that's where when you play the higher player count, it scales. So at 2, when you go to 3, you're adding more cards in, and it opens up more of the board. 4, more cards, more of the board. But it's really trying to be a little bit more strategic with where you're playing your cities. Because you do have more competition for spaces, and
the beer.
The beer is another thing. You need more resources on the board, and that's higher player counts gets it. Although there's more people competing for it, so that's a thing. But I like the switching of order. I like when you have more players. You're really trying to see, do I want to really spend more money and risk going later, or do I want to try to fight to get that first spot? And there's a lot more movement of that. That I think is a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I like it at 2. We've played it the most at 2. I've liked it at 3. I've liked it at 4. And for me, 4, it really starts to get into is I almost feel like they need one more beer station.
Yeah.
Like I think it gets so tight. It's almost like the game can almost revolve around, well, I got the beer, so I'm going to win.
That's true.
That's the caveat with Brass. It's like you really, it really comes down to that. So it's to be able to sell stuff. So I think if we're going to change something about the game, that would be it. But I still love the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely love the game.
It's a tight game. It's a very tight game. Yeah, I'm going to switch my numbers around. I think 3 is probably the ideal player count for me. 4 would be second. I could go either way. 4 might be the best, 3 next. So I guess that's where I would put my preferences. I would rather play it at 3 or 4 and then 2. Right. But I still, hands down, let's play it. Like I will play it at 2, no problem.
Yeah.
I don't think that game has a solo variant to it. I need to look on BGG just to see if somebody's put it out there. But
I don't know. I like
it's the tightness.
Like games that have solo that are intrinsically like the game's fighting back at you anyway.
Yeah.
That one you're really fighting against the other person. Kind of like Barrage. I played Barrage solo, but Barrage, it like cheats. Like
on BGG or BGA,
the way the Autonoma works is like, oh, I can put my worker on top of another worker that's already there. Like, no, like that that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Doesn't work for my worker placement games.
Whereas games like Scythe, you're flipping cards and you're moving the other player, the Autonoma, you're moving that player, and it acts like it is actually a player. And so it feels a little bit more like you're playing against people.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Awesome. So Brass Birmingham, we both like it at, well,
I like it at 3,
we both like it at the higher player counts.
Playing it like
so for you it's 2 to 3, and for me it's 3 to 4, and then we're definitely down for playing it at the other ends.
Yeah.
So awesome.
I just won't ever play it with you, but when it's just us, you only like it at 3 and 4.
Comment down below. Did I say that, or is he a liar? Pause the video, go down, let us know Brad's a liar, because I just said
he just said he would prefer to play it at 3 and 4, which means he doesn't want to play it with his friend. I hear you.
Obviously, that's exactly what I said.
Loud and clear.
Exactly what I said.
Fine, jerk.
Well, hey, you know what? You want to touch me, so fine.
Let's hold hands.
No, let's not. So let's get on to number 2. Your number 2. Oh, gosh, these are great games.
They're great games.
Nemesis.
Love this game. I don't know if Nemesis has a solo variant, but I'll let you go first because I'm higher. This isn't even on your top 10.
It's not. It's in my top 20, I believe. Right. It's not in my top 10. I think Nemesis plays better at a higher player count. Even when we cheat and I show up and Brad realizes that I don't have my own player board to be able to play on, but I am like the 6th player?
Yeah, we played it at 6. Like so we've played it beyond
we've cheated.
the recommended. There's 6 characters, and all we did was just say, like, well, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Like, Toph wasn't in fear of dying from us.
From the cards. Yeah. Nobody could be a traitor and try to kill me off. So, I like it at the higher player counts. So, I don't know. I've not played it, I don't think, at 3 or below.
I've played it at every player count.
I might have played it at 3. But I do like the higher player counts with it.
So, I've played it at 2. That was my first time, and I absolutely loved it. It's still one of my favorite times of putting my son, locking him in a fire and then escaping in the escape pod to let him die on the ship. That was not my favorite dad moment, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yes, that is Brad. Welcome to Brad. He likes to destroy his children.
No
wonder your kids like Warhammer and all that, because they grew up with you trying to destroy them in games.
All the therapy that they're going to have from me. But I have liked it at every player count. It's cooperative, and so you're trying to not die. And at 2, what's tough about it is you're not just going and turning up all the rooms and knowing where everything's at. You really feel like you're left alone on this ship.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get and how and then 3, 4, and 5, it's just fun. It just becomes a party game. And we played it at 6. It didn't change the game.
Mm-mm.
It didn't break the game. We didn't feel like we were going to be. It was easier. Yeah. The way the game plays, it was I understand why they probably didn't put a 6th one in there, but it can play at 6 just as easy, because somebody's going to die, and then you're back down to 5. Then somebody's going to die, and then you're going to be at 4.
It's so much fun.
But
it really is. It's such a good game.
Yeah.
It is the gamer's party game.
Yeah, it's definitely one of them.
It's obviously it's not a party game by definition, but when we play it,
for the gamers,
when we want a chaotic night at game night and just to sit down and have fun, that's probably the best game that we can pull out.
Yeah, it's definitely on the top of the list.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Cool.
Number 2, Lisboa.
Brain burning, brutal. Great game. So hard.
When I did my top 10 list, I struggled between putting this at my number 1 and my number 2.
I still thought that this was going to beat it out, but
and it
probably
very well. We haven't played it enough.
If you play it more, I think it might squeak out.
Yeah,
your number 1.
Too.
But
I do too. But this last game of Terraforming Mars that we just played was
you
awesome.
had a great time.
Yeah, and I lost, but that was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to rate it first?
Because this is one of your favorites. So I think Lisboa plays best at 3. So the reason I say that is, and it might play great at 2 if you're equally matched. And Toph is better at this game than me. So it's not, I don't feel like I'm challenging him enough. And it's almost like he's sitting there playing a solo game. I'm not that far behind, but I never feel like I'm in contention.
Yeah.
And if I am, it's real early and then it just goes away quickly. Yeah. So, I'm playing a game I can, and I'm fine with that on Gaia Project.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand Gaia Project more. I think it's not like I don't understand Lisboa. He doesn't understand Gaia Project. I understand Lisboa better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But, it's still kind of one of those, like, he sees Lisboa very well. I don't. So it's like, I'm not getting much of a challenge. At 3, it was funny. Art beat him. Now, granted, we were kind of saying, like, hey, you need to do this and that and watch for this. But she was making her own selections and stuff, and then she won. But we had more going on. He couldn't just do everything he wanted because, like you said, worker placement. Somebody got a place he wasn't able to go to that was going to help him like run away with it. So like I liked, that's the thing with Lisboa. I think it's going to be a long game, but we played, our first time was playing at 3. We've played it at 2 a couple times. We played it at 3 again. I think 4 might be monotonous.
I would like to try it at 4. Yeah, similar to Kanban. I would like to try it at 4, but I'm a little nervous at trying at 4 because you really need to learn the game at a lower player count. And then I think, this is my opinion, I think you need to learn at a lower player count, and then I think you need to only play 4 with people who know the game. Level. It maybe not necessarily the same level. Like you and I are the same level when it comes to how we play games. It's just I am a tactical player and Brad is a strategy player. So while I look at the end game, I am quick to pivot the whole way through the game. And a game like Lisboa, you have to do that. You are good at looking at the end game and then making a plan that's going to get you there. But in a game that's a tactical play game, you struggle with that because you want to stick with that plan usually. And when you do pivot, it's an awkward pivot because I
lose steam.
Yeah.
Like taking your foot off the gas and then it's just like, and trying to get back on.
Yeah.
And then it's too late.
Whereas like for me, like I'm good at strategy, but when it comes to a strategy game, if I want to pivot out of it and then I lose steam because I needed to continue building the engine or whatever it is that you need to do in that game strategy wise to get you to the end. So I'm trying something different because I think it's going to fit in the moment. And all of a sudden I'm so far behind. So I understand between you and I with those games. I like the 3-player more than 2, and I like 2 a lot.
Yeah.
But I think the 3rd player adds a lot more strategy to it. It changes the way that you play the game because at 2, it's not as far of a battle for the buildings because it takes a lot to get to the buildings. And with 2 players, you can see where everybody's going, so you can try to get on that track faster than they are to get to the building you want and then start the cycle over. With 3, you can't see that as well. And so it does become a lot more of a challenge. I would not say that I've ever felt like I'm soloing it when I play it with you, but I have noticed. Like that, well, yeah, you know what I mean? But I do notice, like for example, when you and I play it together, a lot of times you go more into the now I'm just going to block in the buildings, which is a strategy with that game. But you definitely go into more blocking me and keeping me from getting the places that are
because really I can't let you go after it because I'm like, okay, well that wasn't what I was going to do, but I have to make sure he doesn't get it or I have no chance.
Yeah.
So
it's such a good game. Oh my goodness, I love it. So for me 3 and then 2, and for you I think that's the same.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I would agree.
Not soloed it yet. I want to. I might steal it from you and solo it. So
cool.
Awesome.
Number
1 games of all times. Do you want to go? Or do you want me to?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, my number 1 game of all time. Surprise, surprise.
Horrible. I will never, ever say I like this game because of that reaction.
So, recently, it was my birthday, and I might have brought my favorite game of all time to play on my birthday to Gaming Group, and we didn't get to play it because somebody forgot it was my birthday. So we made up for it the next week.
But you found a game that you like a lot now.
I was able to, well, we're not going to talk about that, but yes, I did. I'm so glad that we played it.
He likes Dune now.
Yes, Dune Imperium. But I brought it the next week. So Redemption, hey, let's let Toph play his favorite game of all time.
Everybody got to play his game.
And my best friend wouldn't play it with me. He played other games. I still lost.
I was not going to play a 5 or 6 or 7 player game of Terraforming Mars to save my life.
I love that game so much.
No. But I did get the worst score probably almost ever in a board game.
Yeah, you should have played Terraforming Mars.
What was it?
Raiders
of the North. No, it wasn't Raiders of the North Sea.
It was something within that
Garfield
series.
games. Yeah, it was South Tigris or whatever it is. I can't remember it now. I got like 15 points, and Derek and his wife got 62 to 63 or something like that. Like I'm running up the middle of the track. I'm like, I've just never played it. And then on the tableau, like they had like 13 or 15 points in this little area where you're rolling dice. And then I had like 2. Like I didn't know that's where you were supposed to make sure you got like a third of your points are from this little thing. I was just trying to like chain actions together. I completely didn't know that one.
It was a great night of gaming for the two of us. Because like our game was still going on. And Brad was like, you got a key, I'm leaving, I'm going to bed. So Brad and Nara left us alone playing this game, and we continued playing. So he had already told me about how terrible he did at his game.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had to take a picture of the score and send it to him to show how terrible I did at Terraforming Mars.
You didn't do terrible, though,
I didn't do terrible. No, I got 3rd out of 4. So I didn't do terrible. We were all kind of close. It was Ashby, his daughter, and Jamon, and I. And we did a teach of the game. Nobody else had played it. It was just me.
I thought Jamon had played it.
I thought he did too, but he played Ares Expedition.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was kind of a new game for everybody. And I did probably what you should never do with new players playing a game like that. I threw a lot of expansions into it. So we played base game, Prelude, Colonies, and Venus. And but everybody got it. It wasn't like there's not new to gamers players. They all got it. They all picked up on it, and it was fantastic. And like I knew, I called it. Jamon won. Ashby was in 2nd, and then I was a chunk behind them in 3rd, and then
you were trying to
me
brand strategy too.
I was trying something new, and but it was still even losing. It was a fantastic game. Like it's so much fun. I don't know why you don't like it, friend. I don't know why you won't play with me.
It's only because Ark Nova's better.
Let's get to the next your game.
Comment down below. So easy when you know where the buttons are.
And I put up with this. I keep coming back. I don't know why.
Every week. We talk on the phone. We're best friends.
We don't really talk on the phone.
This is true.
We text quite a bit.
I'm just giving you people shit. So
we frequently text each other about how bad we do on board games. We don't normally text each other when we win. It's usually like, look how bad I lost.
Yeah, or, look, I bought this new game.
Yeah,
look at this game store. I was taking a video like, look how big this game store is. It's always about board games.
It is. It is. Well, not always, but usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do we?
So you're number 1.
Great Western Trail.
Great Western Trail. Yep.
I have played this at all player accounts. I don't think you've played it at 4 now. I think we've only played it.
I've played it at 4.
Have you played it at 4?
I have played it at 4.
Okay, so I've played it at 4 more than him then.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
have not soloed it yet.
Yeah, I haven't soloed it either. So I like it. If I was just going to say where I like it the best, I think it depends. Like, I like it at 3 with our group. Online, I think I like it at 2.
Okay.
Maybe. But I think I like it with Toph and I at 2. Because I like the way we play it. I've seen how other people can play it more competitively now, and I don't find it as fun. I like the way Toph and I kind of like go through and play it, and we're not super meta about it, but I really like the game and I enjoy it more. But that's just my opinion. So
yeah, you might hear me rant about this a little bit on the channel, but I don't like when people metagame and not play to win, because obviously you want to play to win, but there are some people who will do anything to win, and I think playing the game is a lot more fun than winning.
And something about Great Western Trail, there's a way I like to play it that makes it fun. And then on like BGA, like I understand what's going on. It changes the game enough for me that I'm like, no, I prefer it with my friends.
Yeah.
Like I like sitting there and playing it, and Alex has gotten good at it. He's beaten me both times at it. But he plays a completely different game. And I like a more laid back game. I don't know how to explain it, but it's great.
I love the games that we have played, the 2-player games. We've played it quite a bit, and we play it different, but we at the same time have the same feel. Laid back. It's kind of fun. Yeah. Like it's more thematic almost. Like it feels like we're
doing the yeehaws when you get the thing. You're like, I enjoy it more. I'm probably going to do a video on top 10 games I like to play on BGA versus real life, or is real life better than the games that which way it's which. But
yeah. I like the 2-player. I think I like it at 3. I think that's my favorite player count. I have played it at 4. 4 is it just feels like it's a different game. It's just different. It's there's a lot going on at 4.
It slows it down.
It does.
You have so many more things and so many more places people can like take the money from you and stuff like that.
And it does make the game longer.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where I enjoy it better at 3. And like I said, 2 is perfectly fine. It scales to 2 as a very good game.
Yeah. I think 2 and 3 is fine.
Yeah.
If you're going to play it, if you're looking for like, I got this Euro game, but will anybody? Only have one person play it with. It's a great Euro game at 2, and it's a great Euro game at 3.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and Argentina's the same way. We've got some.
Well, we haven't played it at 3 yet.
Yeah, we have.
Did we?
Yeah, we played it with Derek at 3.
Okay. Well,
I mean, that was more
I want to play it again at 3 because that one I was still just trying to learn it. I felt like we were competitive in our game after that, but that's a good game. That one might replace the regular Great Western Trail. I liked it a lot.
It does for me. It does for me. I see, but wanting both and needing both. Like Brad has we have the 2nd editions.
Yeah.
He has 2nd edition Great Western Trail, and he has Rails to the North, and then I have Argentina. And I could see almost wanting a copy of the original, and I could see you wanting a copy of Argentina, because while it's a very similar game, there's still big differences between them.
Just not spend all my money when he has a game that I can play. So.
Yeah, I'm not buying it because he has it.
I want to buy New Zealand, though. It should be at Gen Con, so I should be able to pick that up.
I wanted to get it before he did. I'll let you have that one.
There you go.
I'll let you have that one.
Me have that one.
Yeah, I might have a new Lisboa coming at some point, or a new Lacerda coming at some point.
Sometime we'll have to do a video on it.
Well, I do have one that we have not played yet.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have to do that one too.
Yep. So
we'll get through all of them, and then we'll rank our Lacerdas at some point in the future. It just takes forever.
We might acquire games faster than we learn and play them.
No, can't believe it. Can't believe it. So. What do you think? Do you agree with our player counts? Like, are these games you would even want to play? Tell us what you think. Tell us some games that you would like us to give you our opinions, because that's easy. We have opinions,
especially if we played it.
Yeah, if we have it.
Yeah, Brad is very opinionated.
No, really. Don't believe anything he says, because there's 51 days in March. Just remember that. I won't ever let you forget.
Thanks, friend. But let us know your thoughts. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel, because we would love to have you sitting down at the table for all of the chaos that is Brad and Toph and our friends at Brad and Toph.
Good night.